Houston, Texas. No. Dude, I was supposed to say Dallas, Texas. Where's my cue card? Dallas, Texas.
There we go.
Here with my next guest, Mr. Brian Leary of sergeantandgreenleaf.com. Now, I'm intrigued because when somebody puts their name on the door, that means something different.
Right.
No doubt. Tell us what you guys do.
So Sergeant Greenleaf, 165-plus-year-old company that...
165 years?
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
U.S. Vertically integrated manufacturing, high-security locks. So financial industry and government high-security locks.
Yes. I know the name now.
Right.
I remember my grandmother was born in 1888.
There we go.
And she had some old stuff in her house and out of Portland, Oregon. Right. And I remember those were some of the locks. Yeah.
Right. So, so we've been supplying locking devices to the vault safe market as well as government and financial industries.
Now, talk about sustainability in this business. I just had a guy here that does locks for classrooms, right?
Right.
And we laughed about it because it's like, well, yeah, we do those old-fashioned things called locks. Because everybody's into cyber this and cyber that. But you know what? Sometimes good old physical barricades are all you need to make people slow down and make it work. How do you stay in business that long?
So, we're about protecting people's assets and their lives.
Right.
So on the asset side, we provide high security locks, now moved from analog to digital locks.
Okay.
To protect vaults and ATMs and other cash transit kind of opportunities. And then in the government space, we're providing products for secured confidential information facilities, protecting munitions and other sensitive material inside the government.
Right. Now, I'm not crazy about cyber locks and digital locks and battery operating because I'm always afraid of power failure, and now I have a problem. Yes, there's fail-safe, fail-secure, all those kind of things. How do you guys handle that part in a sale? Does it make people a little nervous or what?
Great question. So we have our electronic locks are what we call EMP proof. So our locks surpass the government requirement for EMP testing. So if you need a redundant lock on your vault, let's say your gun safe, you want to have the ability to get into that safe quickly, but you also want to have the backup in case of an EMP event. Our lock can take care of both at the same time with one operation.
So now I'm thinking of integration. You can take a Schlage and you can put a quick set and they all fit in that standard hole and the standard lock. But can you interchange things on safes and things? Are there standardizations for that?
Yeah, so basically on your typical safe, you're going to have a hole through the safe through the wall, and you're going to be able to put different locks on that. So you could upgrade a lock, you could upgrade from mechanical to electronic, or you could go from electronic down to mechanical. So the footprint and the module behind it that's driving the bolt works that's in the door of the vault or the safe is pretty much the same footprint.
So we've talked about, I've seen a lot of people talk about locks, and some people have these proprietary key sets where you have to have the key registered, only one locksmith can do it and sort. What do you think about those kind of locks?
I mean, so that's more of a residential commercial. Our product line is more high security.
Okay.
So dual authenticity is requirement. So typically if you're a cash and transit person, you have your code, you have your PIN, and then you have your button that allows you to get in. It's a one-time code, so you're given so many minutes, around such an hour on the clock, to have access to that vault, to put the money in, take the money out, and then it goes away and you have to be reissued that code.
How many employees do you guys have?
We're about 120 employees globally, significant business around the globe and obviously in the U.S. here.
And you're the manufacturer?
Yes, we're the manufacturer, yes.
Now, we just had export.gov on here, the government agency, talking about doing contracts in other countries. Any challenges you face when you do business overseas in different countries? Are there certain restrictions where the U.S. says, you know what? That lock is so darn good. Yeah. We don't want that on Al-Qaeda's doors, so we're not going to do that.
Without a doubt. We work very closely with the U.S. government on certain locks that can be only sold to U.S. properties.
Okay.
We have trails of authenticity of where we follow where the lock goes. We have countries we cannot ship product into. The general lock, not necessarily a U.S. government lock. So we have a whole set of locks just for U.S. government high security applications.
A few years ago, they had a survey where, I think it was 2 years ago, analog cameras still outsold digital cameras.
Right.
It just flipped recently, right?
Right.
Are digital locks starting to outsell the good old-fashioned lock and bolt and key and cylinders?
Right, so you have mechanical locks, which is true mechanical. Then you went to analog, and then analog digital, and now it's fully digital. What digital allows us to do is really integrate into other systems. It also provides more levels of security in the fact that we're able to encrypt or encode things in a different manner in a digital space than we could with analog digital. It's faster, and it's really current technology that allows us to put more options into the owner's hands of what they want to do.
Now, it's a very unusual story that someone with that company that old would change with the times like that and survive. I think that's fantastic.
Yeah.
You don't see that.
Right.
You must belong to that organization of the 100-year-old plus companies in America, right?
Yes, we are.
Not a lot of them. That's
very
fantastic.
Very proud of that. A partner with Stanley Black & Decker inside Stanley Security. And a lineage just goes back. The U.S. government hired us to come in and stop the Jesse James gang. So we created a time delay lock on a vault. That basic design is still being used today, that only allows a bank vault to be open once or twice a day, depending on how they set it up.
That's fantastic. Let's talk about the cybersecurity aspect of it real quickly.
Sure.
For my physical security friends, pay attention to this part, because we're all on the internet and you don't know it.
There you go.
Boy, I don't know where to start on this one. You're a lock already, and people unlocking encryption keys is a cyber lock, right? And that's how people get. But you know, they don't unlock encryption. They're dumb and they leave their key inside the network, and then somebody steals it and opens up.
Right.
When we look at your lock, of course, there's a mechanical component to it, right? That's used cyber. When we look at it as it's kind of an encryption key, kind of.
It is to a point. Right? So the high security side really eliminates things like Bluetooth being accessible to this lock.
Right.
UL requirements put boundaries around that, VDS and SEN. Although you can go to an app that then could access a lock, but that's a medium security lock. When you truly get in a high security space, you're going to have multiple forms of identification to get inside that lock.
Oh, like triple authentication or something like that.
Exactly. And there's always people out there trying to manipulate a lock. And so we employ those folks, and we continue to stay one step ahead as the manipulation moves forward.
Excellent. Maybe we can lock down some of my gear here, because I'm always worried about getting ripped off.
Good enough.
Brian Leary, Sergeant and Greenlaw. Now it's SARGENT and AND, greenleaf.com for my podcast listeners. Check them out. What's your booth number?
It is booth 602.
602. Come by and check this out. Really cool stuff. Back in a minute here on SecurityGuideTV.com.